So, anyways, when we were there in St. Louis, we saw all of our dad's family, relatives, and etc. And it was kind of cool, except for this one church that some of them went to. It seemed like a cult the way that everyone was just sitting. Everyone came up, and I don't know. It was like something you see in a movie. I can't exactly explain it completely. Everyone was saying things at the same time. Everyone, how they walked, acted, talked. It felt like it was all like role playing or something, like something you'd see in a movie. And I just told my dad, I said, I don't ever want to go back to that church again. We went to a different church of his family members later, uh, the next Sunday or something, and that was a better church. And yeah, and his family was cool. And remember having KFC? We had the big old like $50 bucket, like $20, 20 bucket, like six sides, and we had extra sides. We had like 12 biscuits or something. Had a whole bunch of stuff. It was cool, and his family was nice, and they were really cool. And um, one of them, uh, something Byington, something Byington. I can't remember his first name. Dang, I should remember his first name. There's one guy, his last name is ours, Byington. He was a cousin, I think, of our dad's, or uncle, or cousin or uncle. He was, I think, the director of Alien versus Predator, the movie. So that was pretty cool. But I mean, we never met him, I don't think so. Um, anyway, then after all that, then we were gonna like we went to the St. Louis Cardinals game because our dad grew up Cardinals fan, grew up in St. Louis. Of course, they lost that game. It was raining that game. It was kind of a sucky, experience there, but whatever. And we could say we went to one. And then after that, we were gonna go. The last thing we were gonna do was we were going to go to a helicopter tour. But basically, it was raining the day that we were going to go on a helicopter tour, which was like the last day before the day that we were coming back. So we didn't get to do that. But then when we got back, right after we got back from all that and everything, and that whole trip for 10 days to St. Louis and all the driving around and then back cost us like $100 in gas total. That was it. And I think that's when gas was still expensive in 2009. So yeah. And then when we got back, the van broke down, and we had to pay like $400 or $500 or more, like maybe $700 in damages and repairs for it. And we didn't have like all the money at the moment. We were almost like we came back, we had $1,000 still. So that was another $1,000 we had budgeted for that trip that we didn't even need. So we could have had way more fun actually had we have known all that, which would have been great. But it turned out we needed that money. But we still, even when we got back, we spent some of that money on other stuff. When we got back, I guess in the house and whatever, and junk food, clothes, and just etc. and going out. And anyway, when we got back though, it wasn't long after when the van broke down, and it was like 700, like I said, or something like that, and repairs maybe more. And we didn't have all the money we had to come up with. And when I went to check the mail one day, boom, I got a check from Walmart for that bonus that I didn't go get that check for, and they gave me for sick hours and stuff and whatnot that I had still left unused and etc. And I ended up having like a $450 check. And at that time, in 2009, there was Bank of America I was banking with. And I had a different check that I went to go cash one day. And I can't remember where I was working at then. Might have been in 2008 when I was, or no, it was 2008 or 9. I might have been working at Walmart at that moment when this happened. There was a lot of people getting scammed because people were taken from people's banks checking accounts. And I think I was one of those victims. And Bank of America tried to say me and my dad overdrafted because we had two cards, but we kept pretty close budget of what we had, and it never added up. They tried to say we were like 500 or 1,000 overdraft, and it really made me mad. So I stopped banking with them. And then it wasn't until 2011 when I went back to California when we heard there was these people from another country that scammed America banks for millions and millions. And so I got mad because I thought about it. I was like, I was probably one of those victims that they got like 500,000 from. That adds up. You get millions of millions. I mean, they're not going to get millions from just a couple of rich people. They're going to get it from little amounts here or there. $500 or $1,000 isn't a little amount, by the way. That's a lot too. So it made me mad. And Anyways, we tried to fight it, but then, I just gave up and then got a new bank account somewhere else. And so then after that, I started hanging out with my cousin that summer, like early that year after the trip to St. Louis. He wanted to go hang out and drink some beers, and I was 18, and my dad said, "Go ahead," and I was, like, no, and he was insisting. Our sister Ashley, for the first time, had a relationship with her dad at the time because of everything that happened when she was a kid, and so basically, so she was there too, and everyone was just like, go have fun. So that's when I started drinking at 18, and I started going out and, doing things and whatever, like not drugs or anything. And at that time, nothing illegal. And it was basically just going out and whatever. And then, basically, I started drinking liquor, started drinking a beer, and I got into a couple of fights got in one fight in this club with this, one person. He was taunting me or whatever, saying something, I don't know, it was stupid, and I ended up tackling him on stage and beat him up and got chased by security, which that part was kind of awesome. When not the fight, I mean, I guess at the time itself it was because I was stupid. When I jumped on stage and tackled him, everybody stopped and froze and looked at me. It was like all eyes were on me, but, not really for a good thing. Back then I thought it was great, but looking back, it was just me being stupid. But yeah, and I jumped off stage and security chased me. And then, after that, yeah, but I still was able to go back to the club later, just, a different day. They kicked me out then and everything. And they could have arrested me for being drunk because I was drunk and I was only 18. So it could have been, underage, drinking, illegal, whatever, such and such. And another story, though, my cousin, I was a virgin at 18, and I had a couple $100 I went and took to his place in Perry, Oklahoma, and we hung out and drank, went bowling drunk, we went to the clubs drunk, and I couldn't drink inside, but there was times when he would let me, he'd get a beer, and then he'd hand it to me, and I would drink it, and, I have to hide it from security and such, but, I was able to do that some. But he one night told me to just go up, start talking to these girls and start just, seeing if I can't, talk to a girl. And I was shy, and I was like, no. And then he encouraged me. And so I went up and approached these two girls, and we started dancing, me and this one girl. And I was a terrible dancer, still not a really good dancer, but, anyway, so the girl's name was Kara. And then after we danced and everything, a couple songs, I ended up taking her and a friend over to me and my two cousins, and we all sat and talked. And my cousin was using my money to get her alcohol, and in the end, he took her from me, and he screwed her right next to me in her dorm while I was on the floor and he was on her bed. Yeah, and he said I didn't stand a chance anyways, and et cetera, blah, blah, blah. Back then, I was fit. I was not a little chubby like I am now, and I was just shy. I mean, I was stupid, and I was plain sight. I was being used, and that's when I started being used by him for money and for etc. And so I got pretty angry a lot, and we argued here and there, and yeah, and then that was that in the summer. Then the end of the summer, there was I went to Job Corps in 2009. I went to Tulsa Job Corps. I was there for 2 months. I went on my own accord. I didn't go because I was quartering like a lot of stupid kids because they get in trouble. And then the court system thinks, oh, we're going to put them here with all these people that want to enroll and want to do better and want to get an education. How's that fair to us? It's like they're all troubled kids. Let them get an education in jail or something if they really want it. But anyways, so when I went to Tulsa Job Corps, I was there for 2 months. I got into 4 fights. I got into one fight the first week I was there, because I was under the impression this one person did it, and looking back, I don't think it was him, and it didn't take me long after to apologize to him and everything else, but, yeah, he was being apparently lied and framed for taking and vandalizing our room and doing all kinds of things, stealing our fan and putting all kinds of shaving cream in our beds and our covers and everything else, a whole bunch of other crap. It was a bunch of people just being a bunch of whatever, butt bags, that's a bag of butts. And so that ended up, really making me angry, and thought it was him. So I, punched him in the mouth a couple times, and then he hit the wall, hit the ground, and fell, and everyone ran. And I don't know. After that, I had respect for people, and I thought I was, hey, I thought it was cool, and so I was just stupid. And then it was basically another incident. This one kid was an angry kid. He was probably court ordered. He was a punk. He was. This was. The next week, he starts talking crap to everyone. Starts talking crap to the teacher. He's mad. He's playing checkers or chess, and he's just angry. And the piece fell next to me, one of his pieces. So I just tossed it back on the table. He starts talking crap to me, cussing me, threatening me. I was like, talking crap back to him. He said he's gonna break my nose. I said I'll break your neck. Everyone was like, ooh, like, oh, snap, and laughing. And I thought, yeah, I'm not gonna be punked out by this kid too, and anyway, so next thing I know, everyone's breaking us up, and after that, that wasn't a fight though. There was my second fight was, what was my second fight with Josh? Was it with Josh or was it with someone else? I was in 4 fights. I got into. Okay, yeah, there's the other 3 fights right here. One fight was with Josh, this one kid. He ran up and we were all going on our rec trips, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. Everyone was tired, and I got to make a new video. I'll just say this part real quick about Job Corps. So about the fights. So we got into the second fight was with this kid, Josh Schneider or something. He was a bully. He thought he was cool. One of those ICP people who thought he was cool and tough and whatever. And so he starts running through everyone, pushing everyone, and I was towards the front of the line. He pushed me out of the way, and I was like, what's your problem, dude? So I started talking, we argue, and then me and him started, he's like, oh, I ain't got no problem. We go outside, and we got like an hour left of, whatever, till we got to go to our dorms. And then, it's because it was a weekend, and so then, right at midnight, when it's time to go to the dorms, there's no cameras in this area. He tries to run up on me. We get into a fight and start throwing punches, and I waited for him to get up. If I would have swung just a second sooner, though, I would have broke his freaking nose. Sorry, God. But anyways, so we got into that fight, and then the next day there was no, it wasn't the next day. It was literally that same incident that same night. It was had 2 fights that night. It was like no, it must have been the next day. It was the next day or something. The next day at night, me and one of my friends, Texas, we were talking, and he was like, "Don't worry, you'll get him later, whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, I am, shoot, and because I wasn't finished with him." And then that's when Cal, this wannabe little tough gangster thug, because he's from California, they call him Cal. I'm from California. They don't call me California. They don't call me Cal. They don't call me 707. Anyways, they don't call me NorCal. Stupid. Anyway, so Cal starts talking crap to me and to Texas, saying, no, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. And so that's when Texas and Cal stepped out into the field, and they were fighting. And as they were fighting, everyone was breaking up Texas, and then no one was breaking up Cal. So it really made me mad. So as Cal was coming through, I ended up trying to block Cal, and I slowed him down some, and was able to, stop him some. And then that's when everyone, like 3 or 4 dudes, approached me and started taking me to the ground, started hitting me, punching me, kicking me, whatever, because they're a bunch of stupids. Didn't even hurt. I got up, and that was, that was a 3rd fight. And that was all within just a few weeks or whatever. Like, that was basically all within a month of being there, really. Like, the first fight was the first week. The second fight was probably a couple weeks later. And then the 3rd fight was literally like the next night. And then after that, there was a couple weeks that went by. It was whatever. And then there was this riot because these new kids came in. They ended up taking this one guy. They were going around being bullies in the washing and dryer, whatever, the laundry room. They were, being bullies. They ended up turning the lights out on this one kid, and they beat the crap out of him. And he was a friend of mine. And so, and he was from California, from I can't remember where, but he was cool though. And his name was Frederick. He was the 3rd, like me, named after his dad and his grandpa. And we had things in common. We talked, and it was cool. And then next thing I know, though, I guess I'm in this one room. Me and my friend were trying to win a box of Little Debbie snacks. Kind of like jail, I guess, right? And so we're trying to win a box of Little Debbie snacks and watch TV and whatever. It was on the weekend, and there was this big old commotion. So we go out, and then Fred's coming out, his eyes busted, and he's bleeding and everything, and he's a grown man, he's like 20 years old, and he's crying. They beat him up, and they turned the light out on him and beat the crap out of him. Multiple people. And then, so the security guard goes in, he's a short guy, but he's, his job is security for there, but he's in, well, not really, I don't think for there, but like, it's just because they do let the people that are in training for security at Job Corps, they do let them sometimes, I guess, to practice, they do let him actually be security for Job Corps. So he was, I don't know if he was at the time or not, but he was in training for to be security. So he goes in there, then they turn the light on him too and end up beating, or no, they didn't turn the light on him. They just went up, this one kid just punched him in the mouth too, and just started wailing on him. And then next thing I know, I said to my friend, this other friend of mine, Jacob, I said, man, I want to hurt someone tonight. And so next thing I know, we all go in there. There's all of us. There's these new kids, and there's these other kids that have been there that are siding with these new kids that have, made friends with them. And a bunch of idiots and bullies. So next thing I know, the security guard goes in there, and Fred's in there, and Jacob's in there, I'm in there, and a few other people are in there that I know that we're in there confronting with, like, what the hell, all these people, these punks. And so we're arguing back and forth they are, and I'm just standing there. Then this is cool, and that's cool. Yeah, right. There's this kid, if I can remember his first name, McCool. Anyways, he was siding with them, and he was another so-called wannabe security training, whatever. And he was on their side of the bullies and stuff. So basically, my friend Jacob runs up and starts hitting this one kid that hit the security guy because he knew it was him. So he went up, Jacob did, and started wailing on him. No. So the security guard wailed on the kid that hit him first. Then another kid jumped in, and that's when Jacob jumped in. So it's 2-on-2. But then McCool jumps in, and he sides with the bad people, and he grabs Jacob by the throat and throws him against the wall and punches him. And then I'm like, okay, I know who I'm getting. So anyways, fast forward a few minutes later, everyone's like almost back in their rooms. McCool tries to come through the hallway because, McCool ended up in this big old beef thing with one of the bigger kids that was friends with the resident advisor, like friends or family or close to him. And the resident advisor basically let that one kid beat the crap out of McCool. Like, he didn't beat the crap out of him, but he wailed on him. And then McCool is coming through the hallway a little bit later, and I was really heated. So the door is open, and I'm just sitting there watching McCool walk from my left side, and I look over. I'm not even seeing anyone on the right side, but I just see McCool coming from the left side, running his mouth. I jump out of the room. Superman punched him and hit him. We start going at it. McCool was a blood, and I had friends that were in there that were supposedly bloods, and I had friends in there that were supposedly Crips, and then I had friends in there like me that weren't either, that don't care about that stuff. And anyways, so McCool starts, as I Superman punched him, then we start trading punches. Then he starts throwing up the blood sign saying, "Where the boys at?" Everyone comes swarming around. Everybody. It was crazy. I guess I pretty much blacked out after that. After he threw the blood sign, I blacked out. And apparently this is what everyone claims, and this is not me making anything up. And basically, I knocked 4 people out. And so I was blacked out, and I just, right after the whole, him yelling that, until being on the ground, and with McCool and other people around, and other people, like, etc., and trying to separate us. And then Tweezy, my friend, a big old kid, like 18, 19, he came in and he separated and pulled McCool off of me, and as we were still going at it. But apparently I knocked 4 people out that night in that whole blackout when everyone was coming at me. So it was pretty crazy. So I don't know. That's what the resident advisors said, and all of them, the staff and everyone else and students and all. And after that, the next day, McCool called me aside in front of his girlfriend. He told me he wanted to squash it. He said, "We don't need to have beef with each other." I was like, "That's fine. I don't care." Because, I don't care. I got him. That's what, I cared about at the time. And, violence isn't the answer to situations. But, if it has to be, it has to be in certain situations if they're attacking your family and friends. But I'm not saying that was right for me to just jump out and do what I did. But, oh crap, I'm trying to think. I ended up dropping out after 2 months because I got tired of it. It just felt like jail to me, and I didn't want to be there. I'm going to make more videos later because this is already 40 minutes into my and I'm just leaving off at Job Corps stuff, and that's way early into what I wanted to. So I'll make more videos later on today or tomorrow. Have a blessed weekend, and God loves you all, and tell someone, tell a stranger,